Ciao a tutti ragazzi e bentornati sul mio canale, io sono Gibraz. Oggi siamo un video un po' speciale perché andremo a reagire questo video di SnakeThug in collaborazione con Bobby, che per chi non lo sapesse è un pro player nordamericano. Vabbè, SnakeThug credo lo conoscete tutti, 2 milioni di iscritti, che ho visto da qualche giorno è uscito questo video dove ho guardato soltanto l'intro appunto, dove Bobby, che è un pro player appunto, fornisce dei draft a SnakeThug e lui cerca di rispondere e dopo Bobby le dice cosa sarebbe andato lui, giusto per testare le proprie skill a draftare. E io volevo fare questo video appunto per testare me e anche voi e vedere voi come fate e io come faccio in base ai draft che farebbe un pro player, che in questo caso è Bobby. Quindi
Hello
partiamo
guys
con
and
questa
welcome to another
reazione.
video. Today a very special collab with Bobby, Brawl
Ok, mi
Stars, an
raccomando di
esport club for
andare a
space
seguire
station
entrambi i canali
gaming,
di
and
Bobby
today
e
we're doing
SnakeThug,
a little
lasciano entrambi
drafting
in
guide. So
descrizione oltre
Bobby
al
will
video.
test my drafting skills. As I
Ok,
said, my
tanto
drafting
vabbè,
account
schippo
Bobby
finché non
PS. You
inizia.
my answer. You can try yourself if
Ok,
you're like good at drafting. Subscribe to the channel and
ok, qua
so,
dovrebbe
big shout out to
iniziare.
Bobby for helping me with his video. Big W's for him in the comments,
Ok,
and also check out his YouTube channel. He's doing very high quality, interesting pro videos. And guys, I can offer you some shout out tips, but for 3v3 esports, ranked
ok, sta
pro,
dicendo anche qua
drafting,
con
guides, whatever.
Bobby sia pro
This guide
player
is
di
your
andare a
way to
seguirlo, mi
go. Share some
raccomando.
love, leave some support, and we go on with the video. Alright guys, so now, first of all, we have 5 different levels. We start with very easy, going to easy,
Ok, ci
medium,
saranno 5
hard,
livelli
and
di
very
draft,
hard. Bobby is
uno
our quiz master
facile,
today,
molto
and
facile, uno
we're
facile, uno
just
medio, uno
trying our
difficile
best to
e uno
make the
impossibile.
perfect picks or just
E
good
quindi
picks. And
vediamo come
afterwards, Bobby will
andrà.
give us a grade from A to F,
Ok,
judging
dopo
how
valuterà il
good we
pick.
drafted. Alright, so
Bobby
Bobby, the
valuterà il
quiz
pick
master, you
giustamente.
can go
Ok.
with the first challenge.
Okay, hello everyone. I am your professor for today, and this is going to be the easiest one. So here we are. We have hot potato as our first question, and one side is going to ban Amber, Charlie, and Melody. The other side is going to ban Lumi, Kaze, and Cord. So those
Qui
brothers
possiamo
are
vedere i
out of the
ban.
game. So we have
Perfetto.
first pick Barry. You have the last pick here. So your teammates, second and third picked Shade and Bonnie. The opponents try and counter your Shade and Bonnie, going Lou and Ems. So you're facing Barry, Lou, and Ems. What do you go last pick on?
Ok, allora uno per ogni draft, quando tocca, cioè vediamo tutto il draft e tocca a noi piccare, fermerò il video, così avete tempo sia voi per mettere le vostre risposte nei commenti, sia io per dirvi la mia. Quindi, come possiamo vedere, abbiamo contro un Barry Luems e abbiamo in squadra un Shade e un Bonnie. E dai ban possiamo vedere che c'è bannato Cord, Kaze, Lumi e Ambra, Charlie e Melody. Allora, in questo caso, secondo me, visto che loro, cioè, questo è anche il draft più facile, vediamo contro Ems, Lu e Barry, io penso subito a un thrower, perché appunto Barry non è fortissimo contro i thrower, anche se è un thrower lui stesso, e gli altri due sono due tank counter, e quindi andare un tank o un assassin sarebbe inutile perché verremo distrutti, quindi punterei su un thrower più potente di Barry, potrebbe essere un Barley o un Dyna secondo me in questo caso, però io preferirei prendere Barley in questo caso soltanto perché Dyna non è buonissimo in questo meta al momento. Vediamo cosa dice SnakeThug e dopo cosa dice Bobby.
Hot potato in heist.
Okay, so I would take a bit time on this because it's hard to imagine it right now. It's a bit easier if you see it like from the drafting, but yeah, we're fine. My cutter will show everything so you know what's going on. We take a look at the enemy picks first. So they have Barry, Lou, and Amps. I don't think that's like the very best heist combos, so I would definitely go for something that is doing DPS because they don't really have an assassin or a tank, you know. So I think a tank would be bad because of Lou and Amps. That wouldn't be
Ok,
the
poi
best
c'è anche
thing
lui
to go,
con
I
tank,
think.
non
But I
sarebbe
think
il
an
meglio, visto che
assassin
c'è
would be fine,
Angelo.
even against the Lou. I hope I'm not wrong about that. Or you just go thrower. So I would say like
Lui vuole
Ali or
andare di un
Dynamite
thrower.
could be a decent pick. Let me go
Ok, stai
with
facendo le
Bali.
stesse
What do you
cose,
think?
perfetto.
How good is my pick?
Ok,
Is that
Bali
your
ha
final
notato
answer?
di Bali,
It's
vediamo.
Bali, yes, it's Bali.
Okay, so Barley was the second best pick I was looking for, so that's
Oh.
actually pretty good. That's very good.
Let's
the
go.
one I was looking for was Dynamite.
Oh,
Ah,
really?
ok, quindi
I caught
prima
that
era
both.
Dyna,
Not bad.
seconda era Bali.
Okay,
Vabbè,
let's go.
You
comunque.
did, no, you did very
Buono,
good. So
dai.
the weakness to this comp is Lou Blue and Ems are very bad versus throwers, and then typically Barry also loses versus throwers. So if it was any other mode, Barley would 100% be the right pick, but because it's Heist, I think
Okay.
Dynamite would be a little bit better, but both Barley and Dynamite are the two best picks 100%.
Okay, makes
Okay.
sense. So what's my grade for this one? I guess best one, right?
I'm gonna give you an A, but not an A plus because it wasn't the perfect pick.
Okay,
Ok,
fine, I'll
dai,
take
comunque,
that.
But this was
seconda
easy.
migliore
Yeah,
risposta.
very easy, very
Andiamo
easy.
avanti,
So,
vediamo
guys, next
il
level
secondo
is
draft.
easy. Let me know in the comments what you have for this pick or what you think could also fit to this combo. And yeah, see you guys in a second. Okay, guys, that was very easy and we didn't do too bad. So next one is easy difficulty. And Bobby, your time to shine.
Okay, so we have double swoosh. We're gonna go with the first pick here. So the team
Okay.
with first pick bans Janet, Amber, and Buster. The team with second pick bans a lot of very strong brawlers, Lily, Sandy, and Crow. You have the first pick. What do you
Ok ragazzi, in questo caso invece che l'Aspi che abbiamo Force Pick, come possiamo vedere i ban avversari sono Lily, Sandy e Crow, che in questo momento sono tra i brawler più forti del gioco, e contro, cioè i nostri ban, scusate, sono Janet, Amber e Buster. Sinceramente io così andrei di Force Pick Tara, perché noi abbiamo bannato 3 counter di Tara, e contro è stato bannato pure Sandy con un altro grande counter di Tara, che questi sono counter di Tara perché appunto non danno splash e quindi con le loro ombrette, diciamo, possono fare molto, molto male a Tara, che le sue ombre diventano inutili. E Tara è molto forte in Gen Grab, soprattutto in questa mappa perché ci sono tanti cespugli. E è fortissimo in Gen Grab perché può pullare e diciamo ribaltare la partita da un momento all'altro. Vediamo cosa dice SnakeThug e cosa dice dopo Bobby.
take?
Okay, so I have different brawlers in my mind. First of all, I think as a first pick, we want to play an all-rounder. So something that is not easy to counter, but there's still 5 picks that will come. So either I would play good mid like Jean, Gus, or Bo, you know, some of these brawlers, or also strong lane like Chester or Terra, since there's a lot of Terra counters banned like Janet,
think
Amber,
Tara,
Buster,
appunto.
all with the AoE, even Sandy's banned. So I think Terra could be a very good pick here, but also Chester. So that's a tough decision. I'm thinking about Bo. I think Bo's a very good mid at the moment, but I'm also thinking about Chester or Terra on the lane. I'm just thinking, is there like a lot of brawlers that would counter Terra? Cannot really see them, so I will take Terra because I think there's
Ok, anche lui
so
va di
many
Tara.
Terra counters
Quindi
banned,
se
and
gli
I feel like
Open sono
Bobby
andati
is
di Tara,
trying us
vediamo cosa
here.
dice
So
Bobby.
my final answer is Terra.
Okay, I love that answer. Two things I have to talk about. One, you have first pick and you immediately started thinking of something safe. That's exactly what you want to do when you have that first pick. So that I love to see. And then secondly, you started looking at the bans after that. So you were listing the bans like Amber's ban, Buster, Janet, Sandy. You saw all those brawlers that are really good at one thing were all banned. And you said, oh, what does that free up? Terra. And that's exactly what I was
Ok,
looking
perfetto,
for.
questa
So
l'abbiamo
you get an
presa
A plus for this.
Oh,
perfetta.
let's go, guys. Holy shit.
questa-
That's great. That's great. Okay,
Abbastanza
awesome.
facile.
So, next stage. Okay, now
Questo
we're
è il
getting
livello
to
medio.
medium
Shooting
difficulty
star.
on the
Perfetto,
map
vediamo.
Shooting Stars. So, Bobby, here you go.
Okay, it's going to be easy, but not as easy as the last one. This is kind of a unique brawler that I'm looking for. So we have Shooting Star. The team with the first pick bans Nani, Piper, Mandy, so kind of 3 really strong snipers. And then the team with second pick bans Angelo, Jean, and Lumi.
Okay.
So the first pick picks Byron. Your team takes Belle and RT to try and counter the Byron. Then your opponents go Carl, because Carl's pretty good into Belle, and Gus, because Gus is a very good support brawler that can help out the Carl. You have last pick. What do you go?
Okay.
Ok, allora, subito avevo pensato a Tick perché diciamo che non hanno niente per trovare a parte Carl, però ripensandoci, essendo che c'è un Byron e un Gas, non è il massimo perché con Tick diciamo non riusciamo a fare proprio una kill facendo 1300 a Mina e col Byron che continua a curare è molto difficile fare una kill con Tick, quindi andrei per qualcosa di più aggressivo, anche perché appunto c'è Carl che con il suo gadget del teletrasporto può, può andare a killarci o comunque va subito a prendere la stella blu, quindi non abbiamo mai il vantaggio e quindi dobbiamo noi pushare contro gli avversari e non noi farci pushare dagli avversari, che è quando noi veniamo pushati dagli avversari che Tick diventa forte, perché zona molto molto bene, mentre per pushare negli avversari Tick non è il massimo. E quindi penso a qualcosa di un po' più aggressivo. Una Kaz forse che ora è molto forte, non mi sembra bannata, però c'è sempre lo scudo di gas. Oppure qualcosa che non è molto meta, che secondo me potrebbe workare bene contro questo, sarebbe Fang. Però, visto che non è molto meta Fang ora, direi Kaze, che riusciamo a prendere la stella blu prima di Carl con i dash. E dopo che abbiamo la stella blu devono pusharci loro contro. E comunque Kaze è molto forte con la possibilità di switchare la forma e creare molto spazio e un playstyle molto aggressivo. Vediamo cosa dice SnakeThug e cosa dice dopo Bobby.
Okay, this is a bit more difficult than the other one. I have different picks in my mind right now. One of them is Ray. I have Tick in my mind.
Ok.
So even
Ray
Bonnie.
dice
So
anche
there's a lot
Tick.
of potential picks in my mind right now. I think the enemy team has a good all-rounder combo. Like, I don't really think you can counter it very well, but I think a thrower in the mid, like a Tick, even when Kyle could potentially, you know, play the gadget, I think a Tick would be fine.
Sì, c'è
A
anche lui
Gray,
il
I think a
Tick.
Gray always works on Shooting Star, at least
Però
in my
secondo me il
rank
problema con
games.
Tick è appunto che non
Don't call
riusciamo
me
mai a fare una
crazy,
kill
but
e loro
I
non accendono la
think I
stella
would
blu,
also
quindi
potentially
non
go
è il
with a
massimo per
duck
quello.
because I think they don't have like super high DPS, and I think just healing against with a
Pensa a
duck, just
Doug.
me. But I'm not going for duck. I would
Ci sta,
probably either go for the safe egg pick or just try to carry the game with the Gray, you know, try to pull the car, the Byron, whatever, get some kills. So I'm
Che
gonna
non ci
go
avevo
with Gray.
pensato,
I'm
però in
gonna go
realtà
with Gray.
non
That's
è
my
male
final
secondo me
answer.
anche.
Okay,
Vediamo cosa
so
dice
yeah, this is
Bobby.
definitely a lot more of a well-rounded comp than I gave you the first time. So Gray isn't a bad answer because Gray is pretty strong into Carl, and Byron can't really do anything when a Gray teleports on him either. Gray's very good on the map. Tick, I don't love because there's two support brawlers, so even though Tick is good versus both of them, it's probably going to be hard to get a kill versus a
Ok, Bobby dice
shield
la
and
stessa cosa che ho
heals and a
detto io su
Carl,
Tick,
right?
che non
True,
riesce mai a
yeah.
fare una
So the
kill.
answer I was looking for was Fang.
Oh, Fang. Oh
Quindi,
yeah, of course,
niente,
because
avevo
of
detto Fang, ma
Carl
alla fine
and
avevo detto alla
Byron.
Yes,
fine che
exactly.
preferivo
Fang is a,
Kaze,
like, there
però
is
comunque
good
Fang avevo
knockback,
nominato, quindi
yes,
dai,
but
non
Fang
malissimo, diciamo.
destroys Carl and destroys Byron.
Yeah, right.
Sì,
Also, he
sì,
had
sì.
this buff that he deals like much more damage with
In
his super
effetti
now.
ragazzi è un bel
It's a
Fang
good pick,
game,
you're
sì
right.
sì.
Okay, so what do you think about me considering duck?
I actually think that's not horrible because, like, you had the right mindset, kind of. You were thinking, like, okay, I know this is gonna sound crazy, and I was like, oh my god, is he gonna say Fang? Is he gonna say Fang?
Okay.
And then you're just like, Doug!
Yeah.
But, like, it's not horrible, but I think Gray was your best idea.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's getting problematic probably when Byron plays the anti-heal star power, then you probably have a problem.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot of pressure, so yeah, I get it. Yeah, okay, so what grade do you get for the Gray pick?
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a B for the Gray pick because the Gray isn't a bad pick, but this is a very, very free Fang game, and I was really hoping because 6 pick is easy. 6 pick, you're just looking at what you counter, and the whole comp is in front of you. So I was really hoping you would get the right pick. I gave you an A
Peccato
last
ragazzi,
time,
era
but
la
I
mia
can't
seconda
give you an
opzione
A
Fang,
again for
siamo
not
andati
getting
con
the perfect
Kaze,
pick.
vabbè.
Got it, understandable. We take this one? Yeah, I mean, Fang, really good pick. I forgot about the balance change, to be honest. So Fang was kind of a dead brawler for me, and I was like, no one picks Fang. But yeah, with that super buff, he's actually a very decent brawler right now. So that makes sense. And honestly, B isn't too bad, so we're fine. All right, next one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's getting interesting. Hard
Questa mappa
difficulty, so it
non mi fa
really won't be
impazzire,
easy.
vediamo
We're getting to
cosa...
like a Masters Elo
Che
or
draft
Masters
vediamo.
1 or 2, so it's getting into high Elo. And Bobby, what do you have for us?
Okay, so this is going to be a little bit harder. We've only done last picks and first picks, which has been pretty easy. But once you're somewhere in the middle and you have good bans and good
Quindi
draft,
sarà
it gets a little complex.
un
So we
brawler
have
in
dueling
mezzo,
beetles
cioè
here. The
quarto
first
pick,
pick
terzo
bans
quarto pick.
Ems, Gale, and Griff, and the second pick bans Bell, Draco, and Lumi. So the team with the first pick takes Lu for anti-tank. Team with the second and third pick, they take smart brawlers. They take Hank, which does get countered by Lu, but you can play Hank a little bit more passive, not always run it
Okay.
down. And then Barley, because Barley as a thrower counters Lu, like we saw in that first draft on Hot Potato. So your team takes Barry. So you have Barry and Lu versus Barley and Hank. What is the brawler that you're going to take in the fifth spot?
Ok, quindi abbiamo un quinto pick qua. Abbiamo un Lu e un Barry in squadra nostra e un Barley e un Hank contro. Quindi sto... Beh ragazzi, io sto subito pensando a Kenji, sinceramente. Ti fidi un botto contro l'Hank, fai un bel po' di hyper, poi è molto buono contro il Barley, quindi non abbiamo niente contro Barley. Potresti provare anche ad aprire la mappa, però se vai ad aprire la mappa, secondo me dopo una bel contro potrebbe distruggerci, perché se apriamo la mappa noi con, non lo so, un Griff o un Frank, dopo piace proprio free game. Quindi punterei a tenere la mappa chiusa con un Kenji e vediamo cosa dicono loro.
But remember, there's still a 6th pick available for the other team.
Okay, very interesting. That's definitely harder. First question, would you dodge if your random pick the hang into a loop? That's my first question.
Honestly, probably, yeah. Like, it's happened a little bit in the pro scrims, and I get angry when we do that, but it has worked before, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, okay. So you wouldn't say Lou is like a perfect answer to hang. You still can play him smart, so Lou doesn't have that much value.
Right. Usually in the pro scene, if a team gets both Lou and Hank, they automatically win. So sometimes you have to like force taking the Hank into the Lou so that you don't lose.
Okay, that makes
Questo è un
sense
concetto molto
actually.
importante,
Alright,
ragazzi.
so
Di non
interesting.
evitare
Learning a
di
lot
mandare
here.
due prove
So
fortissimi
I had
insieme,
this
magari
type
a
of
volte
situation
forzare un
like pretty
pick.
often honestly, and I had to play against Hank a lot. And what me personally helped the most, especially since we have the Lou in our team. There's still a
Che li farà
collab
bannato tra
open,
l'altro,
but
manco
I
mi
mean
ero
they could
accorto.
potentially go grey. At this point I would like think like,
Comunque
okay,
sono andato
what
di
could
Kenji,
their
quindi.
last pick be? You have to always take care of that. So let me give you an example. So let's imagine your team picks like 2 snipers on this map, like Gus and like Bell, and then you have the 5th pick. If you also pick like a sniper or whatever, then the enemy team can pick a thrower and you're lost. So you always have to think of that, like take care of the last pick. Don't pick something that can get countered very easily. But what helped me here in this situation very often is Frank. I think Frank's actually a decent pick
Frank, avevo
against
detto anche
Hank.
Frank
You
per la
can
mappa,
break the walls. We have some additional heal with
se
the
apri la
berry,
mappa
so
dopo secondo me c'è
synergizes
BA
pretty
open
well.
e BA
And
c'è
we
free
also
game
have a
letteralmente
Lou.
perché
So
non
what
c'è
could
niente che può
counter
controllare
Frank? Like
dopo
of
che apri la
course the
mappa.
collab, but does collab hit their combo really well? I don't really think so. So I don't even have like a lot of alternatives. So I'm saying Frank. That's my answer.
Lui ha detto Frank,
so
ha detto
Frank isn't
Kenji,
a bad
vediamo cosa dice
answer.
Bobby.
Again, I really like the way you're thinking about the draft where you don't want to take another anti-tank with the Lou. Like, you don't want to take 2 of the same brawler pretty much. I really like your way of thinking. So Frank isn't exactly what I was looking for, and let me tell you why. So although it is very smart to open the map up against the Barley and a Hank, if you have Frank, Lou, and Barry, the other team's going to see that and say, oh my god, this is the best B game of my life.
Appunto, ragazzi. Perché ho detto anch'io se... Vabbè, pubblicità, perfetto.
Especially
Ok,
if you're
come sto
opening the map.
dicendo,
True.
se apri la
Okay,
mappa
I can see the
diventa
weakness
troppo
here.
free di un
So
BA
again,
game.
this is a really hard draft where there's a lot of different
Okay.
possibilities. Not every answer is going to be amazing, and even the best answer is not perfect. But into this comp right here, I would go Kenji.
Kenji.
Oh,
So
direi
yeah,
che
I was
Kenji,
also
ragazzi,
thinking
ho
about
preso
an
anche questa
assassin, but
perfetta.
yeah, it makes
Quindi
sense
per
to
ora
me.
2
Didn't even think of
perfette,
Kenji.
So yeah,
una
I thought
seconda
about Kenji
opzione
because
e
A, you
una
have
che,
your
vabbè, non
anti-tank
ne
and
ho
Lou,
parlato
so
di case,
obviously,
quindi
like
non
you said,
saprei
you don't
come
need to
definirla,
worry
però
about
secondo me era un
that.
buon
And Kenji
pick.
is
Però avevo
very
comunque
strong
parlato anche
into
di Frank
Barley
in quel
and
draft,
Hank.
quindi...
Like, Hank is pretty weak into Kenji because it just feeds Kenji so many shots. You can get 2 hypercharges or something, and every hypercharge is
Esatto, ti
obviously a
fidi
free
le
kill on the
hypercharge con
Barley.
Kenji
And then
dalla
lastly, they can go B, but I don't think B is going to win them the game because you're just going to have too much control with the Barry, the Lou, and the Kenji, and there's going to be no wall break.
Okay, so
No,
my
ragazzi,
pick is
sto andando
not
abbastanza
horrible,
bene.
but it's like mid, right?
Almeno a
Right,
me.
exactly. Like, you
Dopo fate
definitely
sapere
have the
anche voi
right
come andate
thoughts
nei
because you have the
commenti, mi
healer and the
raccomando.
anti-tank on your team. You want something with high HP, good zone time in case you face like a gray or something. So you were on the right track. It just wasn't the perfect brawler.
Okay, so what is the grade?
I think I'm gonna give you a B- for this one, just because you said opening the map was good, which is not a bad idea, but then opening the map for a B is kind of like, like, you know, you're gonna be in trouble. So B-, I think.
Another question I have here. What if I do not open a map? I still pick Frank, but I'm just not opening the map. I'm making sure I'm not breaking like the right wards where in case they
Qua
pick
parla di
B.
prendere
That's a
Frank
really
ma non apre
smart
la
in-game
mappa. Questo
adjustment
secondo
that you
me
would do, like noticing that
molto
they have the
difficile
B.
giocare
Okay,
Frank
I'm not
senza
gonna
aprire la
open the wall.
mappa.
And if you weren't gonna open the wall,
Soprattutto
then
con l'hyper.
honestly, maybe it's like a B or a B+ pick. But then that kind of takes away from Frank a little because it's so hard to use your super and not break walls.
Okay, understood. All right, guys. I think not too bad for hard difficulty. And now the final level. Bobby, do your best. Make like a super disgusting
Ora andiamo
situation
all'ultimo
for
livello,
us, for
ragazzi,
me. And
livello
yeah, we see how it goes.
impossibile.
Okay, guys, the
Siamo in
last
pizza, questa
level,
mappa
really tough
molto
one.
particolare
I'm not
come
sure if I
mappa.
will be able to solve this one because this is for pros only, for esport guys. But yeah, let's hope for the best. Bobby, your turn.
Vediamo.
Okay, so this is the final question. I'm not going to judge you too hard because this is like very pro level stuff here. But here we go. Pit stop is the map heist, of course. So the team with the first pick, they ban Shade, Hank, and Dynamite. Team with the second pick bans Cordelius, Barry, and Lumi. So first pick is Kaze. Your teammates pick Buzz and Rico as the second and third pick. They respond to that with Barley, which counters Rico, and Bull, which counters Buzz. So you're facing Kaze, Barley, and Bull. Your team has Buzz and Rico. How are you saving this bad draft?
Ok, ragazzi, come ha detto anche Bobby, questo draft non è proprio buonissimo, anche perché loro c'hanno una comp veramente, veramente buona, soprattutto contro la nostra, abbiamo la Spick. Partendo dal presupposto che secondo me non c'è un brawler che possa salvare del tutto il draft, cioè, scusate, che possa counterare tutta la loro comp, o comunque, diciamo, farti vincere il game in automatico, ma che non ci sia qualche brawler forse che possa salvarlo, quindi renderti il draft giocabile. Secondo me ci serve qualcosa per counterare. Allora, per counterare la casa abbiamo già il Buzz che non è male contro case. E abbiamo Enrico che è ok contro Bull, però non è manco il massimo. E Barley che c'è abbastanza free game. Quindi io cercherei di counterare soprattutto il Bull, che se no non abbiamo niente contro il Bull. E, la... e qualcosa per il Barley, visto che casa è abbastanza già sortata, visto che abbiamo il Buzz. Quindi proverei ad andare magari con un corvo che può difendere il bull abbastanza bene, secondo me, e se fa è ok anche contro Kaze e dopo, fidandosi le ulti, può jumpare addosso al Barley. Quindi, secondo me, quello non sarebbe un buon pick, sarebbe un buon pick, scusate, e sarebbe molto buono anche perché con l'hypercharge dopo puoi andare in cassa e fare molto molto danno. Ti fai praticamente uno scudo garantito con l'hypercharge di Corvo, quindi diciamo che secondo me Crow potrebbe essere il pick migliore in questo caso, anche se, ripeto, secondo me non c'è qualcosa che
Okay,
possa
this is what
salvare
I
del
was
tutto il
about to say.
draft.
So I think my
Vediamo cosa
team did
fa
not the
SnakeThug
best
e dopo cosa
drafting
ci dice
here. I
Bobby.
think they definitely have come so far. I don't think there is an available pick that counters like all these three brawlers.
Che
I
dice
just
anche lui che non
don't
c'è un
think there
pick
is,
che
but
countera
maybe I'm
tutte e
wrong
tre,
about
secondo
that.
lui.
Maybe there is. So first of all, I really wanted to draft Search once today, but I don't think I can do it here because I think
Ok.
we're just lacking some DPS with Search. So I think what I wanted to do is like countering Kaze and Bull by picking a counter to this. I just don't think
Secondo me,
there is an answer to one tank, one assassin,
come dice
and a
anche lui, non
thrower.
c'è qualcosa che possa counterare tutte e tre
So my
e lui
guess
cerca
would
di
be
counterare
that it's really tough for
Bull
me.
e
Like I'm thinking
Kaze,
hard, my head is
anche se secondo me
smoking.
il
I was also
problema principale al
thinking
momento è
Charlie,
Barley,
but
forse.
Charlie's not good against the Bali. It's just good
Charlie,
against Kaze and
può essere.
Bull. Like the best answer I can give you here is like RT because I think his hypercharge is pretty broken. He's pretty good at defending, holding control.
Ok.
Only weakness I see is we don't really have an answer to
Quindi
that
Barley però
Bali
c'è un
van,
free
but
game,
I
secondo
don't
me invece
see
con
anything right
Corvo
now. And
e
in
il
a
jump
draft you have
poterli
like
jumpare
20
addosso
seconds, and in these
sarebbe
20
molto buono
seconds,
secondo me. Vediamo
I
cosa,
couldn't solve this puzzle, so
cosa
I'll
dice
choose my
Bobby.
final answer.
Okay, so yeah, this is a very tough one. So sometimes you just have a bad draft and you have to try to make the most of it. With the earlier drafts, especially on the easy levels, I gave you kind of good situations where if you take a good last pick or a good first pick, you're probably going to win. But this one, this is going to be very hard to win even with the perfect pick. I don't hate your idea of RT or Charlie because Kaze does a lot of damage, Bull does a lot of damage, and neither of your teammates are stopping that whatsoever. But at the same time, if you go those brawlers, you're not going to be able to do much damage yourself, maybe like 5% or 10%, and I
Come
don't
dice
think
anche
your
lui,
teammates are going to
non
be
riesce a
able
fare
to do
tanto
enough
danno, invece
damage
se
to win the
prendi
game.
Corvo,
So the
appunto
two
come ho detto
answers
prima,
I was
con
looking
la
for
percharge
was
hai uno
Nita.
Wait,
scudo
can I give another
garantito.
one? I still go for another pick. Only last
Nita.
option I potentially have is Griff.
Interessante, Nita.
You can go on.
Ooh, close. Okay, so I was
Okay.
gonna say
Ok,
that's not a bad one actually because you can open up the
vediamo
map.
la seconda
But
risposta
the
di
two I
Bobby.
was looking for are Nita and Macy. Let me tell you why. So both Nita and Macy, they're good
Particolare la
into
Macy,
Kaze
però
and Bull. A little bit more
abbastanza
Nita
mi
because
piace.
Nita's just easier to play. But then after you defend those brawlers, if you get
Ecco,
Macy Hypercharge or if you get
che
Nita
qua sta
Bear or
dicendo
Nita
appunto
Hyper
Bobby
Bear,
che è importante
you could
avere
turn your
comunque
defense
qualcosa che
into
dopo
offense
difendi,
and then go
puoi
do save
portarlo comunque
damage.
in
Now,
attacco e fare
it's not
tanto danno
perfect,
alla
but I
cassa.
think that's the
Come ho detto anche
only
con
chance
Crow,
you
secondo me,
have at
quindi
winning
Crow
this
non è
game
proprio
is to kind of
male come
defend
pick in
and do
questo
damage
caso.
at the same time. And I think those are the best brawlers for it.
Okay, makes sense to me. Yeah, so I would say, guys, if you have like this drafting situation, you know the best thing you can do is dodging. Nah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, as you heard, still, we are not looking for a Bali counter here, which is, I had the right path here with like RT or Charlie. Like it was going into a good direction because I was taking care of like two brawlers here from the draft. And Nita kind of does the same, just in a better way, as Bobby just explained, because she can pull off a better offense from her defense. I was thinking about that with like our T, but yeah, it really makes sense to me. And what was the second pick again?
Macy.
Yeah, I also really love this pick. Bit surprised though, because I feel like against a good Kaze, isn't she like just dodging you with the high reload speed?
Yeah, now the thing is, you need to worry about the bull a little bit more than the Kaze,
Sì,
because
appunto.
Buzz is okay into Kaze. Like
Esatto, mi ha
Buzz
detto
can
anche
kind of
Bobby qua,
control Kaze
Buzz è
and
ok
Barley,
contro,
but the bull is the biggest
Buzz è ok
problem.
contro
So you
Kaze,
can
quindi
kind of
vedo
use
il
your
problema
dash
era
to stun
bulle.
the bull. The super is really good against Kaze and bull, and then yeah, you can hit the safe for like 4% a shot and use your hypercharge to break the like 25% at once.
Okay, got it. So what would you give me for my RT and Griff pick?
So your RT and Griff, your Griff I think was a little bit better and you were on the right track, but you are not winning the game with either of those picks. So I'm going to have to give you a C for that one.
Okay.
But again, this is like pro level. This is
Ok,
really
questo deve essere
challenging,
l'ultimo
and I think
draft.
the two brawlers
Vediamo
were
di
the
tirare
only
le
two that I
somme
think
ora.
have any chance of winning.
Okay.
Vediamo cos'è più
Yeah, I mean,
spendibile.
I think it's 94 brawlers in the game, and if only 2 picks here could make a difference, you can tell, guys, this one was pretty hard. And now, after this quiz, we're going for one final round of
Ok, adesso vabbè, lui va a fare un game in ranked con Bobby. Mentre vi saluto qua, ragazzi. Vi raccomando di andare a seguire sia Bobby che SnakeThug, anche se non credo abbia bisogno del mio supporto, diciamo. Lascerò nella descrizione entrambi i link, lascerò il link del video in descrizione. E mi raccomando di iscrivermi nei commenti voi come siete andati, secondo me sono andato abbastanza bene. E niente, vi ringrazio per la visione, ci vediamo al prossimo video.